Friends, welcome to Holy Trinity Catholic Church, where we believe, belong, and become. We now have entered the Holy Week, the most loaded liturgical week of our faith, as Jesus enters solemnly into the city of Jerusalem. Three things come to our minds: emptied, exalted, exampled. Jesus emptied himself, therefore he was exalted, and now he is giving us an example. In this loaded week, we are going to journey with Jesus into the depth of his passion, leading to the resurrection. The gospel reading, which is chosen for the procession, which is typically held outside the church building or the structure, Jesus says to the disciples, "You will find a colt. If anyone were to ask you, tell them, the master needs it. The master needs it." This Holy Week, the master Jesus needs you and me, all of us. If we have journeyed with him through these 5 weeks of Lent, the master needs you and me now. The first part of the gospel refers to the instructions as to where they should go, who they will meet, what they will see, and how they should get the colt. The second part is the entry into Jerusalem itself. If you look at the gospel, we see the underpinnings of the messianic kingship. Jesus is in full control of the incident. He knows what to do, who to send, where to send, and what to say. In all this instructions, Jesus had the foreknowledge and authority as the king. We recognize Jesus as the Savior, but what kind of Savior? What kind of is this king who enters into the city of Jerusalem? This king is the one who emptied himself, therefore God has exalted him, and through this, the king gives us an example to follow. So we have a king who is self-emptying. We have not been saved through some military power. We are all saved through this king, through this king's kenotic form of giving. Kenotic, the Greek word kenosis, means to give until the last drop. Such humility this king has shown to the world. Why God has to stoop down so low? Why did God has to abandon himself so completely? Why God had to do this? So that we are saved. We are saved. You and I are saved. Because the master needs you and me. Second, this king is highly exalted Savior, which is presented to us in the second reading. The first part of the first reading presents about the servant who is humble, who is meek. The second reading presents us with a king who is exalted. We have a Savior who was lifted up and exalted precisely because he humbled himself. And he left behind his divine prerogatives. Unlike conquerors of the world who put others down, this king put himself down. Therefore, God has exalted him. And he did this willingly. This embracing of the cross, he did so willingly to do God's will. Therefore, his name gains the ultimate homage no other name can ever claim, because first he himself was handed over to death. So therefore, we see the exalted king. So through this emptying of the king, through this exalted king, he is leaving us an example to follow. We have the Savior who offered himself for us, continues to offer himself for us. to us, so that he is for us an example, the ultimate example to follow. This Holy Week and beyond, the fact that we empty ourselves through the process of self emptying, we are exalted, and therefore we become an example to the poor, to the broken, to the humiliated, to the marginalized, to the suffering within our vicinity and beyond. And the example we draw is from this King who emptied himself and who has been exalted. And where do we find this example? Where can we live this example? In the streets where the violence is taking place, in the people who are discouraged, in the people who are innocent, who are needy, who are marginalized, who are the outcasts, who are afraid. We must go where Christ emptied himself, because the Master has the need of you and me. This Master, this King who emptied himself, who is exalted and leaves us behind with an example. You and I must go where Christ would empty himself. Father Praveen Lakiseti here at Holy Trinity Catholic Church in San Antonio, Texas. Thank you and God bless.